welcome back to our channel. Today our topic is the magic of 5. And make sure that you stay to the very end because I want to share with you the one software that you wanted to use so that you can supercharge your virtual assistant to the next level. Now, happy Thursday, right? Really excited that all of you guys are here. And I want to teach you something that's related to the business and how do you delegate and leverage. Recently, I actually have partnered up with SVA Academy. Who would think that hair salon company will need virtual assistants? I never thought about that in my life, but I have 100 clients right now that's using a virtual assistant in their hair salon company. And then because of all this collaboration, we started to, work closely with each other, and we have a call and we say, well, what does a hair salon company need? And we come up with it and we realize that if they want to make $1 million, they can actually use 5 virtual assistants. So now we call it the magic of 5. I have some clients that obviously, I have people that have as many as 25 of them, and obviously as low as 1, right? And most clients have only 1 virtual assistant. And then I was like, well, maybe this is what I need to share with you, right? To kind of bust the myth and how can you actually grow yourself, right? To really have the ultimate freedom for yourself. If things happen, right? You're not just solely depending on that 1 or 2 VAs, right? But at the same time, how can you really grow into it? What does that look like? I personally myself have about 42 virtual assistants right now, so I live very abundant. I did send Monique to India for a month on January, and the business didn't go to ground. So I know that I could potentially fire Monique too if I want to, right? Because I've fully delegated out everything. But this whole thing is that I really love Michael Gerber, the book E-Myth. He talked about this one thing that really ran into my head about 10, 12 years ago. Now, you need to run a business that is system-based and not people-based. The reason why it is system-based and not people-based, go back to McDonald's. Well, McDonald's never pay you high. McDonald's only pay minimum wages. McDonald's doesn't, quote-unquote, treat people well. But the truth is that because McDonald's is such a system-based business that they do not need smart people to run the business. They are so good that what they said is, if you want to make a burger with the patty on and then 1 piece of lettuce, right? 1 piece of cheese, and then the patty, you put it on the grill, 7 seconds. Okay, so after 7 seconds, it will beep at you, and then you turn it to the other side 7 seconds, and then you pop it into it, and then you put some sauce into it, put it on, and you're done. So that is a good burger, right? So it's very system-based that nobody need to have detailed trainings. But as an entrepreneur, that's not what we do. We actually just count on that 1 or 2 person, and we want them to read our mind, and we want them to know everything that we do. And then at the end of the day, we couldn't really fire them. They actually almost hold us hostage too. I have years that's like, hey boss, I know you love me, right? You worked with me for such a long time. Now, instead of $10 an hour, I want $20 an hour. And we're like, hey, there's no way that you're gonna get a $20 an hour. However, once in a while, we run into a few VAs that just have that mindset because you love me, you say that you love me every single day, you cannot live without me, so now I'm just gonna check out my price because you quote-unquote cannot live without me. However, then what I learned is that that's just not sustainable. I highly rely on Monique. Monique has been with me for 10 years. So if Monique is gone, what am I gonna do? Who am I gonna rely on? Because I don't know the password. I don't know how to do the contracts anymore because I delegate everything to her. And then I realized that, okay, that is not sustainable because what Michael Gerber said is I need to run a system-based business, not a people-based business. I shouldn't be afraid that my VA is gonna leave me. I shouldn't quote-unquote allow her to hold me hostage. Not that Monique is doing that. And at the same time, life happened, things happened. Like my father-in-law passed away. I couldn't work for a month. My husband in January fall from rock climbing, couldn't work for a month. Then what would happen during that time? Things happen to me, things could happen to them too. I don't want to get held hostage, and I want to really live a life that I know fully that the company can fully run with or without. And again, McDonald's style, I love it because if the cashier didn't show up, no problem. They will dial a phone, somebody will come in. So the business will run no matter what happens. So let me bring you back, right? So hair salon, what would be the 5 people that they need? Okay, a hair salon that doesn't use a computer, 1 computer in the front desk, right? Maybe 1 in the back end. 5. Number 1 is EA, right? Which is most of the time what you're hiring, like you're a personal assistant, right? An executive assistant. And again, I wanted to reiterate what they can do for you too. So that way, in case if you're not fully utilizing them, this is some of the stuff they can do. So first thing first is, again, I am not organized. I have so much thing that's going on. So what I do is brain dump to them every morning. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do this, right? I need to pick up my kids at 3 o'clock. I need to schedule a doctor's appointment for my mother next week. I need to buy this thing from Amazon. I have a meeting this afternoon at 3 o'clock. My husband's birthday is coming up. please help me buy some stuff on Amazon or research what is something that we can buy for them. Hey, I have this masterclass that's coming up. I have 3 classes going on at the same time. Can you attend that class for me and write down notes, so that way we know how to execute it? All that. So ultimately, this person is solely in charge of my email, calendar, also pay my bills. I hate paying bills, so this person also help me pay my bills. So that's what an EA can do for you. And then as for hair salon, right, they have a lot of inbound call coming in. Second person that usually hire is a virtual front desk. And I'm sharing this with you so that you can kind of think about what you can do with your business, okay? So a front desk assistant, because the front desk usually so busy, like you want them to build a relationship with the clients. So what they do is they hire a front desk that answer all the calls for them. The front desk can really just build the relationship. A lot of you guys, if you come into my office, we actually have a virtual office, right? A Zoom office. So if you come in, we actually have a virtual front desk. She'll say, hi, how are you? Who are you meeting with? Oh, you're meeting with so-and-so for the interview? Okay, come on in. Oh, hey, you're coming in to meet with Phyllis? Okay, come on in. Let me transfer you to their room. We have a lot of abundance at Zoom right now. You can have 50, 100 Zoom breakout rooms, right, for free. So every time I tell my VAs, how many rooms do you need today, right? We can open up 50 rooms for you and we can just tap everybody into a room. So all my VAs have their own private room if they need to do private stuff. So that is the second person. And then the third person, obviously, is usually the most important one that most people want to hire, which is social media. However, I'm going to come back to the social media in a little bit here because there's a lot more that can get them to do that a lot of clients does not know about it. And then the number 4 is if you have a lot of leads, chances is you're going to sign up a lot of customers, which I love. So you either need a salesperson or a customer service person. And then the number 5, for the hair salon company, they actually have to constantly recruit people. They have to recruit hairdressers. So they actually have to have a recruiter that help them with putting together their course and go to call the schools, schedule new hair salon graduates to come to the hair salon, and then do the presentation and hire them. Somebody that can kind of put together like a training manual, SOP for you, or just recruit other JV partnership. Like for me, right now we have a VA that is constantly looking for affiliates. Hey, how can I help you with your business and you help me with our business, right? How can I get into your community, right, and have a conversation? A lot of these are not immediate, right? A lot of these are not direct. It might or might not get you direct results, but definitely will give you indirect results that is coming from it. And it's things that you usually would not want to spend time on, but if you continuously doing it, it will bring you so much result. Like Russell Brunson, he talks about this. You know, he pay a lot of money on ads, of course, but 40% of his new business come from affiliates and referrals, and he pay really well. He pay 40%. Anytime you bring somebody into ClickFunnels, he pay you 40% every month. So there's people there who just doesn't do anything but just JV partnership. Again, affiliate JV partnership is very important. You can even hire a VA just to do that. Again, it will not be a highest and best use of your time, but again, you can hire a VA that can solely just research online on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, right? And then send them emails and say, hey, by the way, I'm writing a podcast. Would you want to come in and chat? Or, hey, this is what my topic is. Usually it costs me about $5,000 to speak, but for now, I will waive the fee. Would it be okay if I just come to your community and speak for free about this topic? So now, even though you're not quote unquote making money, but your name was out there. Recently, I talked in Richmond Dean community for free. However, in return, I get at least 5 or 6 clients coming into my community because, I share with them that, virtual assistant is a must and they can really relate really well. But again, initial thoughts, wasn't trying to get any sales, but at the end, people connect with me, so they do it with me, right? So again, there's so many more things that you can do. Go back to social media. Truth to be told, please allow me to be honest with you. Social media is like real estate. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's really small, but it's huge. Okay, Instagram has its own algorithm, own way to learn. Facebook has its own algorithm, own way to learn. YouTube is its own algorithm. A lot of time, clients always think, I just want a VA that know everything. The truth is, they could not know everything. Even in Facebook itself, there's paid, there's organic, there's groups, 3 different way of doing it, 3 different strategies. Even just one of them, like organic outreach, I actually hire a VA that works 40 hours with me. Every day, their job is to add 20 people to be my friends. And then when they accept me as a friend, then I reach out to them and say, hey, thank you so much for accepting me as a friend. We are in the same group of this. And then I ask, what do you do? And then they will ask me, what do I do? And then I will invite them to our free webinar or free challenge. So that way we are gaining more leads without spending money on ads. And then on the other hand, they can also get you to join other group that your ideal client is in, right? So that way you can, again, gain more traction with that. Social media is one thing that you want to go full force on because you don't really have a lot of referrals. This is what I would suggest. You either break it into, I want to hire somebody who's really good at Facebook, Instagram, because they're from the same company, Google and YouTube, or YouTube and TikTok. But usually we're focusing on Facebook and Instagram. and then YouTube and TikTok, because one is more graphic, one is more video. I usually will hire somebody that's just managing all my events. So this is what I do. I actually do both, which is one copywriter, one graphic designer, and one video editor. This is obviously if you wanted to really double or triple down on social media. The truth is all three of them have very different skill set. At the very beginning, obviously, you can just use one person, especially right now we have ChatGPT. But if you really, really wanted to horn into it, right, and really do a really good job, then technically on social media, there should be 3 people, because the graphic designer that we have, like Kat, she's really, really good at designing but not good at video editing, because you have to add the sound, background sound, cutting the videos, the sequencing, almost like a movie director. People that know how to write are not as good as graphic, because they I don't know, the left brain or the right brain, but they're really good at writing, but not necessarily with everything else. So going back to it, right? So hair salon, they have 5 people that they need. And I love this number of 5, because just like what I talk about, the Michael Gerber E-Myth, it said that not just that you need to run the company as a system-based business, but these 5 people can also help each other out. But before I share that, let me share with you, if you are a real estate agent, let's say you're a real estate agent, these are the 5 people that you want to have too. First one is EA, or admin assistant. Usually they call it admin assistant, not EA. Second one is a transaction coordinator who help you with paperwork and all the details. The third one will be, again, social media, right? Helping you with all the social media, all the listings and all the posts. Number 4 will be inbound sales calls, because after you do well on social media, you're going to have a lot of calls that you need to make. So that way they're going to be an inbound sales call. And number 5 will be outbound sales call, which is, you're starting to call people. Or as a realtor, if you already have more than certain CGI, you want to start recruiting. So the number 5 will be recruiters. You can either be a recruiter for your own company or recruiter for, people that can advertise your business. We learned from ClickFunnels, right? Russell Brunson, who is the number 1 marketer in the world right now. He talks about, instead of spending ads, you can actually find an Instagram influencer who is less than 1 million subscribers and more than maybe 10,000 subscribers. And you ask them, hey, can you advertise me? And every month I'll give you like $200. You know what I'm saying? But you find the right person, and then, whether it's locally or in a certain skill set, and then what they can do is they can just highlight you, and then they will make money with you. Again, it could be commission based, or it could be just every month, hey, post me 5 times. And you'll make $200. And they're very willing to do that, because some Instagram influencer are not making any money. And this is the best way to scale it. And we have a company that is in the community do credit repairs. So he target a lot of like homeowners, and he just work with a bunch of influencer, and all they do is just, hey, by the way, if you have any problem with your credit, this is the person that I trust the most. And then everybody just kind of go through them. And again, because it's a referral, closing ratio is also very high. So for me, how I grow my business, again, the first one is executive assistant, right? Somebody that I can just dump everything on. So in the way my brain is clear, and then somebody can remind me about everything, checking my emails, my calendar, all that. And then the second person that I hire for me actually was a bookkeeper, because I'm really not good at numbers, and I want my KPI, and I want to make sure that my people are paid right, payroll. So I actually hire a bookkeeper first. And then afterwards, I actually hire, just like I said, social media, right? Yeah, helping me to get authority, get lead. Again, this social media person, if they are really good at video editing, every time you're doing a training, right, it should be recorded, right? Just like what I'm doing right now. And they will be coming in and cut the video. And then again, it could be being for internal use. So that way you don't have to repeat yourself again about what your company is about, what you do, right? How you do certain things. Another thing is obviously you can post it on YouTube, Facebook, right? To become a social media post. So that way you don't have to quote again. And then the fourth one that I did, I actually hired customer service first. People who can help me handling my clients, because there's so many of them. To be honest with you, right now, I have about 2,500 WhatsApp group chat. So I could not manage that. Yes. My VA are the one that's managing my WhatsApp group, right? So in that way, I'm not missing any messages. And if I do, the VA will remind me about that. So customer service, making sure that all my customers is handled. Fifth one now, obviously I'm doing it with sales, right? Somebody is helping handling sales, because truth to be told, I am actually an introvert, even though most people do not believe that I'm an introvert. I love talking to people, but I cannot just talk to people every hour of the day, even though that's what I'm doing right now. When I was doing sales call, it was great. Because it's consistent. I do get a lot of energy from it, because I do gain, get to know other people. But what happened is it is the same task that I do every single call. It's the same presentation, it's the same system. So whenever you found that something that you do is systematic, right, it doesn't change, and it's the same every single day, then you know that is a cue for you to hire somebody that can do that for you. If you want to make $1 million and only want to work 40 hours a week, right? that means that you have to make $500 an hour. You either work $500 an hour or you have to make $500 an hour. So now you have to ask yourself, what are some of the tasks that doesn't gross you $500 an hour that I shouldn't be doing it anymore so that I can spend time on making the $500 or $1,000. Right now, my goal is I should be making $1,000 an hour because I only want to work 20 hours and I still want to make my $1 million, right? So $1,000, how can I scale that? So right now, my primary question is, can a VA do it? If a virtual assistant can do it, I usually wouldn't do it. Like right now, I'm not doing one-on-one coaching. Realize that took too much of my time. So I don't do one-on-one coaching anymore. I do group coaching because group coaching can net me more than $1,000 an hour. I love this quote that Tim Ferriss talked about. Being busy is a form of laziness. So, being busy is a form of laziness, lazy thinking, and indiscriminate action. Keith Cunningham also talked about this. Most of us are so busy that we do not have think time. You heard me right. It's think time. Do you schedule at least an hour a day or a couple hours a week to think about your business? How can you get better with your business? How can you reduce from 5 steps to 3 steps? Are you spending more of your time to learn, right? Like right now, AI is huge, right? Are you learning AI, ChatGPT, right? Are you learning Midjourney? Are you learning some software? Or like for me, I just took a 2-day course on how to create courses, how to create challenges, because right now I'm doing a lot of one-on-one, right? One client to one. Now I wanted to do one to many, but I don't know how. But instead of me working on my business and my operation, I'm actually focusing on learning more on how can I scale it. And on top of that, one thing that I really, really want to share with you is that, people come and go, right? As a company, as a business, like even in the Tony Robbins plan, nobody stay forever. People just come and go. If you make it a system-based business, then you do not have to worry about anybody leaving you. And when I have a number of 5, what happened is that I always partner them out with 2 to 3 people. So for example, like my executive assistant, right, will be working together with my social media person, right? So in that way, my executive assistant will know what social media person is doing. My social media person know what an executive assistant is doing. My salespeople would know what the customer service people do, and my customer people would know what my salespeople do. My copywriter actually know a little bit of basic on graphic design and also a little bit basic of video editing. My video editor would know how to use ChatGPT to come up with copies and things like that. And so what happened is that during normal business hours, when I have 5 people, they do their own work. Okay, they all do their own work. However, if one of them is gone, whether they get fired, remember when we have COVID, right, or power outage, right, it doesn't matter for me because the rest of them will immediately come in and fill in the blanks. And I love that because I used to be so worried, right? Because it's like, okay, when Monique is gone, and I felt that before, like on Sunday, I have a contract that I need to sign. Monique is not here. I don't know how to fill it out. I was out and about hanging out with my kids and I was just like, I don't want to do this, right? So then I hire another VA and, and they just work on Saturday and Sunday. So now I don't have to deal with it because to me, highest and best use of my time is to hang out with families, right? Dr. Benjamin Hardy talked about, he has a really good book called 10X is easier than 2X. And one thing that he talked about is, the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people or, rich people and poor people is that we all have the same amount of time. That means the one thing that we can never get back is how you spend your time that determine whether you're successful or unsuccessful, if you're stressed or you're not stressed, right? If you're rich or you're poor. And I thought that was really, really smart because truth is, I know where I am right now. I am a mother. I still want to have a lot of impact. Money is important, but not that important to me at this moment, right? I don't really need to have the full net. I just want to have net the most on my time. So that's why I have 42 virtual assistants. I rather pay the money so that they can do all the work than me making all this money and then my kids is like, Mom, when can we go out? Mom, you don't have time for me. Or customer calling me and say, Phyllis, nobody respond to me about this problem. Hey, Phyllis, we have these challenges. How can you solve? Right now, it's all done by virtual assistant. Right now, my goal is to make sure that my business is effective and efficient, right? But at this moment, it's not as effective and efficient. But again, I don't mind hiring 42 of them. But let me come back to it, right? Again, I don't think you need to have 42 of them, right? That's way too much abundance. One thing I wanted to also bring it up to you is that you might be thinking, when 5 is a lot, Phyllis, it's a lot of bills to pay. Remember, you are hiring a virtual assistant. So technically, you're only hiring maybe 2 local employees that you have. If you really come out with a net, where you pay office space, internet, their benefit, unemployment, social security, all that add to it, right? You're technically only hiring 2 full employee if it is, for 5 people. So now you can be more abundant. One more thing that I want to add, most people do not have this, is the research and development, R&D department. I always have my VA to do R&D for me. Hey, I really like what so-and-so is doing. Can you research that and let me know would that work for our business or not? Test it out. I usually give them about 10 hours, right, to test it out. And then if it works, I'll give them another 40 hours to roll it out. If it works, great for me because I make extra money. If it doesn't work, hey, it's 10 hours. That is $100. I'm very willing to pay for that money without me spending the time on it. I do that a lot with apps. Click, like how I moved from ClickUp, Monday, Asana and all that. I didn't spend time into it at all. I just tell them this is what I want. Research it. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So we use Zapier a lot. Again, my VA manage all that and say, oh, this app can only zap with these 2 things, so it doesn't work. Right, no problem. Move on. But again, I don't spend the time into it because I spend my time connecting with you, having one-on-one, having my speaking engagement, right? Going to networking so that people can see me, trust me, like me, so that they will refer more business to me. Everything else, I always ask, what can a VA do for me? Can the VA do for me with this? If they can, I will delegate. If you recognize that this is something that's recurring, repetitive, and there's no surprises, get your VA to do it. And now even more is that because you have ChatGPT, you don't even have to monitor them as much. You can just get a ChatGPT account, right? And then tell them, use this kind of prompt, right? I want a soft-spoken, loving, engaging, message. And they say, write a reply, right? So then the VA now can use ChatGPT to write a reply, save it in your Dropbox, let you look at it. If everything goes well, everything is smooth. And that is how easy it is to run a business. And I strongly encourage that all of you guys think about how can you get at least 5 virtual assistants. So in a way, your business run itself, right? Without you being in the business. Because again, this year, I did not work at least 3 to 4 months out of 7 months. And I thank God that I have all my virtual assistant, and it is a Michael Gerber E-Myth way of running, kind of like the McDonald's style, right? Whether the franchisee is in the store or not, McDonald's run itself. Right now, my business run itself, whether I'm in it or not. And I just want to strongly encourage all of you guys to do that because time is really the real currency that we all have. How you spend it is how you determine your success. And again, money is everything. I know for most people, but I do believe that, time, state of mind it's super, super important. And at the same time, again, you are hiring virtual assistant. You are helping them to get their life better in the other country. So you actually have a win, right? You're obviously fulfilling your contribution too. So again, you can always, do what you want, when you want, with who you want.